Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking about if this train ride really is first class. All right guys, we have traveled first class by train all over the world, and recently I saw some people trying to say that they didn't think that the Amtrak sleeper cars were actually first class. And it's, you know, our experience in first class sleeper trains all over the world has been a little bit different. I'm sharing about our first class ride in the US on Amtrak after our experience on the longest train ride in the US in this first class sleeper room. We definitely were trying to figure out ourselves. We got to thinking about it. Is it really first class? Should it be considered first class? So I'm going to share our ride with you here. We were on the Texas Eagle in a bedroom, which is Amtrak's most expensive first class sleeper car. We were going from Los Angeles to Chicago. So I'm going to bring you along here on our ride on the Texas Eagle. And then I'm going to come back and share with you if I think this is actually, or should it be considered a first class sleeper train ride. All right, so we're just hanging out here in the Metropolitan Lounge for just a little bit, and then we're going to be headed over to the train. They told us when we walked in that it's already here, which is like an hour early. So we get to board here in just a few minutes and then get ourselves settled in. As soon as we get on, we're going to be taking off about 10 p.m. So it'll basically be bedtime when we get in. So we'll see what we'll film when we get on board. Otherwise, it'll be tomorrow. All right, it's time to board. We're in the elevator, headed down, and then we're gonna walk to the platform. All those with red cap already went over, so here we go. First floor.
All right, we found our room here, and it is a bedroom on this Texas Eagle. It is so spacious. We usually travel in a roomette. I can already tell this is going to be going in style. This is Allie's bed down here. She's actually sitting over there. And my bed's going to be right up here. We're going to show you all that in the morning, but just wanted to give you a little feel for how big this room is. And this train takes off at 10 p.m. So as soon as we take off, everyone's going to be heading to bed, waking up. We lose an hour going into mountain time, and we'll grab breakfast and get situated on the train.
Okay, first fresh air break of the trip. We are in Tucson, Arizona,
and it is, I think, like 8:30-ish in the morning, a little before that. But we just woke up because there was a time difference. We're in mountain time now, so yeah, gotta get used to that. We got 1 more hour, one more time change, probably overnight, to Central Time and to the time that we'll be in Chicago. So that's not too bad. 2 time changes instead of 3. But here on the platform, I'm gonna get a couple of steps in real quick before we run over and get some breakfast.
About the train, keep one hand free so you can hold on to the seat backs for stability. Also, shoes must be worn when you move about the train. If you're enjoying any type of multimedia, folks, headphones are required. This is a family train, so please watch your content, watch your language, please be mindful of those around you. Again, folks, headphones are required. We do have a cafe car in the middle of the train if you want to get something to eat or drink.
Okay, we're taking a little bit longer fresh air break here in El Paso. As you saw, we drove past the border wall there, and now we're just here on the platform getting some fresh air. Okay guys, so you saw last night we hopped on in the evening and basically went right to bed after we got all settled in. So I'm going to give you a tour of what the room looks like during the daytime. And I'm going to show you one of the best features, I think, of the bedroom is that you not only have windows on this side, which you can sit here with the seats, and we'll talk about that in a minute, but at the door, you actually can see out the window right there. So that's really cool. And I do like your lock here. Make sure that you flip the one down and then the other one over. Then you've got your own sink here in the room and your mirror right here, and you've got light switches here on and off, and there's actually 2 outlets here, but as you know, we've got our travel buddy here. So I've got, what do I have, 1 2 3 4 things plugged in there, and I have one more spot which I'm not currently using, but we are charging things right there. So that's your whole vanity area here and the sink, and then there are towels down here and a trash can right here, and then in here is just some extras like soap and extra toilet paper. And that's a bonus because we do have a bathroom in here. So this is one of the seats here, and this seat folds up and turns up against the wall so that it's out of the way, so you can go to the bathroom easily in the night. You can also leave it there because the bathroom door still opens and does clear it. As you can see, you can leave it there and see there's still clearance for the bathroom door if you don't want to fold that up. You've also got the big couch or like double seats here. Look at how big those are. It's actually enormous. I'm sleeping down here and I actually feel bad because it's really, really big compared to Rob's space upstairs. And here is the closet. This is where we're keeping our blankets and pillows during the day. And then here, we've got an outlet here, but I found it challenging that it wasn't holding our plugs, so it was just falling out. So that's how come I put it at the vanity. And then we've got temperature control here. You can make it a little cooler or warmer. It just kind of closes the vents off a little bit. It doesn't control a ton, but it will change the room temperature just a little bit. And then we've got a light right there, so that's good. And then on this side, you have your attendant button here. Ooh, it's a little bright from the sun. And we've got our ceiling light and a night light. You can just flip this button and it will control that. And then here, do not forget, like I did last night when I came in, to turn this to 0 and volume all the way down so that you don't hear the announcements in the first thing in the morning. That's what woke me up this morning when we got to Tucson, was the announcement. So I quickly flipped that and that is now off. And then there's another night light here. And then there's the tray here where you can pull this out and you can have lunch right here, or dinner, or breakfast, or you can use it as a regular table. And then we've also got, get that in there, and then we've also got this area here. You've got a night light, or a reading light, I should say, right here as well. And then there's this nice shelf here. Right now we're storing some snacks, which we don't really need because they give you so much food on this train, you don't even need snacks. And then we've got our jackets up here too, just bundled up. We are in January headed to Chicago, so it is going to be a little bit nippy when we get there. This is Rob's bed here. Let's see if we can get to it. Now, during the daytime, my mattress is stored up here. So this is the big old mattress. This is the width. Look at how big that is. It's almost as big as Rob's bed is long. So that's this, and this bed goes all the way from there to here, and then as you can see, there's a little bit of space right there. So it doesn't go all the way to the window. So it's a little bit shorter than it would normally be. So that's up there. And then also the ladder is stored up here as well. That goes out and to the ground. So that's that. We'll put that up. So that's basically what the room looks like during the daytime. Okay, so we're gonna take a look at this bathroom real quick. Right here, it is a commode and a shower all in one. And this curtain, you pull that across and it snaps actually into the side here. You see those little snaps all the way down. Now, if you're thinking toilet paper is going to get wet while you're showering, it is not, because they have this little flap plexiglass kind of door here that covers up the toilet paper, which is right up here. And then you've got your shower head right there, and towels are stored there. So they do suggest that you sit to shower in here, because you could fall over very easily, but there is also a bar that you can hold on to if you need that. And you can always just go downstairs if you feel like this might not work out for you. You could use the bigger shower downstairs where the other restrooms are as well. So you can always use some of the other amenities that are on the train. You don't have to only use what's in your room.
They have a new menu for lunch also, as well as dinner. And so for lunch, I decided to see if there was any difference with the Angus burger. So I ordered that. It was really good. Again, the old one was good too. I don't know if there's much difference. This tasted pretty much exactly the same to me. But we did have a new item on the menu, which was the Monte Cristo sandwich. And it was basically like the grilled cheese, but filled with ham and turkey. And I mean like filled. It was really heavy on the meat. So it was really quite good, actually. Better than the old choices they had. So we actually got one of each and split them. And they also have a couple new desserts. I got the lemon cake, which I really liked. And Allie got the chocolate mousse, which was also pretty good as well. So lunch is in the books. We're gonna see the sights here for a little while and then go try this new dinner that's coming up.
Okay, so Amtrak has got quite a few options now for dinner. They've changed the appetizers, and they have some new entree options as well as some new desserts. I'm not gonna lie to you though, these desserts look good, but they did take my favorite, the carrot cake, off. So I don't know who needs to be told about that, but I would like to petition to bring back the carrot cake. But let's not get too far off the path here. So let's talk about the appetizers that they have. They've got Mexican souffle with grilled sweet corn. That sounds really good. That comes with like sauce and different things like that, like roasted poblano sauce. That sounds good. There's also coconut crusted shrimp. That sounds amazing as well. It comes with a sweet chili sauce. Pretty sure I'm gonna go for that. And then there's also baked brie and raspberry empanadas. Gosh, that sounds really good too. So I'm not sure what we're gonna get, because all three of those sound really good. And then for the entrees, they do still have the Amtrak signature flat iron steak. They have pan roasted chicken, and that comes with lemon risotto and some mixed vegetables and some butter sauce. Then they have the Atlantic salmon, which I always love the Atlantic salmon, so I'm glad that they still have a salmon option. They've got that with ancient greens and some vegetables and a nice white wine sauce. And then they also have a rigatoni bolognese, and that's kind of the non-meat option, because the bolognese is made out of plant-based meat sauce. So those are the options for the entrees. And then here are the new desserts. There is a chocolate toffee mousse, and I had that with my lunch, and it was really quite tasty. Then there is the white chocolate blueberry cobbler cheesecake. That is quite a mouthful. I saw a couple people at lunch got this one, and it did look really good from a distance, so there's a good chance I'm gonna get that one for dinner. And then there's the Ultimate Meyer lemon cake. That's what Rob got for his lunch dessert, and I'm willing to bet a lot that he is probably going to get that with his dinner as well, and I'm sure he will share some with me. We'll probably split the two desserts amongst ourselves. So that sounds really good. These are really a lot of great options. Now I'm kind of hungry, even though I just ate like an hour ago. So I'm looking forward to dinner, and we'll see what we decide. We'll show you guys. Oh, that's good sauce. That's good. All right, so as you can see, I of course did go with the salmon, and Rob went with the flat iron steak, and they were both delicious. The flat iron steak is the same one that was on the menu before, so that didn't change. The salmon was a little bit different. It had like a Dijon mustard type sauce on the top of it, and then it had the ancient greens with it, which was a little bit different than before, and it did have the green beans, which were delicious. So we did both enjoy that. The appetizers were a little bit different than what we were used to before. I think Rob got the Mexican souffle, but he did say that he did prefer the tamale a little bit better, the green tamale, the green chili tamale. So that's kind of it's the same type taste, but a little bit different. So he would prefer it in the tamale style. And I got the coconut shrimp for my appetizer, but I will tell you that I definitely missed that lobster crab cake. It was so good. I wish they would bring that back because it was super tasty. Desserts were very good. I got the white chocolate, let's see if I can remember all the words, white chocolate blueberry cobbler cheesecake. I think those are all the right words. And it was actually very tasty. It was really good. You could taste all those words. You could taste all of those in every bite of that cheesecake. It was super rich though. But I will say I still miss the carrot cake that they had before. But the blueberry cheesecake was a good option. And like I said earlier at lunch, I got that chocolate toffee mousse, and that was really good. Rob got the lemon, the Meyer lemon cake both times, and he enjoyed it. So I had a few bites this time as well, and it was actually really good. It's nice, light, and airy. So if you're looking for something a little bit more light tasting, that Meyer lemon cake is going to be a good option. So all in all, pretty good. We did like the changes they've made so far, but you know, you kind of miss the old stuff too. So
It is getting to be nighttime now, so we're going to make up our room into the nighttime arrangement and show you what that looks like. But an interesting thing is going to happen on this train overnight. When we get to San Antonio, the train will split into two, because this is actually, the Sunset Limited is the front part of the train, Texas Eagle is the back part of the train, and that's what we're on. So split them in two, they'll each get an engine, and they'll each get a dining car, and we'll go north and they'll go east. And then in the morning, our train is going to change from traditional dining, which we've had, to flexible dining. So we will be getting the kind of more microwaved meals. So we'll be able to compare what that's like and see if they've done any changes. We did those last year, did enjoy them. So I am kind of looking forward to seeing what that's all about. But this train will be splitting in half, and it'll take a couple hours tonight in the middle of the night in San Antonio to do that. So hopefully we'll sleep through it, wake up, and already be on our way to Chicago. Beds are made up. Time to crawl up there and show you around a little bit. First thing though is, how do we get up there? We have this ladder, and that differs from the roomette, that there's an actual ladder instead of stairs that you step on. So because of the skinniness of the room here, the ladder does have to go on this end, which is by the window, which means your head has to go on the other end by the door, or you'll have a really hard time getting out. So we're gonna go in head first, like you would do, go up the ladder, and this is what it looks like up here. So there is a little bit more room, I will say. Got a light up here, let me turn that on. There's a little bit more room above the head, which is really nice, because in the roomette it is very, very tight. You feel like you almost can't even flip over at all. Another thing that you might be interested to see is that this mattress is quite a bit thicker. So I noticed that the mattress was quite a bit more comfortable. You have more space. Those are some pretty good upgrades from the roomette. Now, having more space up here means the person below has a little bit less space, but their bed is wider, so they do have that going for them. The thing that I really do miss though from the roomette is that there is no like bag or pouch up here to hold your glasses anywhere. So there's just really, all you have is that light. There's nothing on the wall over here. So to make up for that, I'm gonna have to back up here and show you. I have all my stuff hanging in this white bag right here, and I have some snacks on this luggage rack over here too. But those are kind of inconvenient to get to in the middle of the night, and I will say that getting down this ladder is a little bit tougher than getting down the stairs in the roomette that are just kind of stationary and built into the room. This is a little bit thinner, so it's a little bit harder to get down. But overall, it's a good trade because you have a lot more room to sleep and move around, and you hit your head a lot less often than in the roomette. That's the one thing I wish we had, was a little bag up here, but overall, this is, for being on the top bunk, this is definitely the way to go. So I'm gonna have Allie show you what is different with the lower berth now, and she's gonna show you around.
Okay, hey, we're gonna go down here. So as I told you earlier, look at how big this is. Woo! It goes on, it seems like forever. It's bigger than a twin size bed for sure, as far as The width, the length is probably about the same. But keep in mind too that the nice thing is you've got the bathroom in here at night, so you don't have to leave the room to go to the restroom at night, because it's going to be really hard to do with this tiny little space. I basically can, I mean, you have to squeeze through there, but I can get my leg through. I can walk through. If I'm facing the vanity, you can walk through and get out of the room if you had to for some reason while the bed is made. But pretty comfortable down here. And as Rob said, there's a little less headroom here, so I do, and as you know, I'm not very tall. I'm 5'4". So my head basically, I have a bun in my hair right now. So it's basically being pushed back like this when I'm underneath here. While when I'm in the roomette, I can sit up with my hair in my bun like this at night and not have any trouble at all. So there's a little bit less room, like he said, down here, and he's got a little bit more up there, which is nice for him up there to have a little bit more space so that he doesn't constantly hit his head while he's up there. So that's kind of the setup for nighttime. It's a pretty nice setup, and as I mentioned before too, this chair here is folded up. If you remember, it was sitting out. So there's a lot more room here. You can see now all that space between that chair and the bathroom. So that's pretty much it for the nighttime setup. Now we're gonna put our PJs on. I'm gonna wash my face, do my whole nighttime face routine, which is nice because we've got our own little sink in here. And then I'll be ready for bed, and we'll be ready to break up with the Sunset Limited early in the morning and head up north to Chicago to see our son. All right, it is sunny and bright here in Austin, Texas. Gotten off here for a little fresh air break, walking around. Still a little bit groggy, just woke up. That time change really gets you 2 hours, so check it out right here. So in the night, we went ahead and dropped off the people from the Sunset Limited. Now we're down to just one engine here, and our car is in the front instead of the back now.
Well, good morning. I just woke up and Allie has already been to breakfast, was kind enough to bring me back some to the room. So we have a breakfast sandwich here, which I think I'm going to eat. We also have part of the flexible dining 3 cheese omelet breakfast, and the continental yogurt and muffin. So I think I'm going to try this breakfast sandwich, which looks pretty good and it's still warm. That is pretty good. We just left Austin, and San Antonio stop was pretty I don't know. It was just
Eventful.
eventful. Yeah. Yes, they were unhooking the trains, and we've done that one before. But this one, there's always a little bump when they hook them back together, and the bump seemed pretty big, almost like a crash. It felt like, but it was definitely something that would wake you up. But we got right back to sleep, no problem, and actually slept pretty well for how much moving we did. And now we're gonna have breakfast and enjoy the day.
Okay, we are stopped for another fresh air break here in Texas. We are in Temple, picking up quite a few people here. Our train is considerably smaller now, so everybody's getting crammed into all the little spaces. But we're just gonna get a little bit of fresh air here. It's a little bit colder than I was expecting, so I didn't put my jacket on, so I probably won't last as long as Rob.
Join us here at Temple. Welcome aboard Amtrak Train 22. They doing just a couple of reminders. No smoking aboard Amtrak Train 22. Smoking while vaping are not allowed on 2287. Next smoke break stop is Fort Worth. Fort Worth will be our next smoke break stop. Also, they don't must wear shoes at all times. Don't want to come out the train. Please remember the exterior doors and windows are closed at all times. That's all by Amtrak employer and emergency. Also, ladies and gentlemen, all your bathrooms are located in the middle of each car and down the stairs right after you boarded the train. And for those passengers who have small children, we ask you please keep them close to you, prevent them from running, jumping, or climbing. And will occasionally side forward to backwards and it is easy enough to get hurt. Please monitor your children's whereabouts at all times. And just station yourself welcome aboard Amtrak Train 20. Just estimated time, ladies and gentlemen, we did leave Temple on time, so we still are on time. So, wondering what time we need a specific destination, ladies and gentlemen, the train is on time. Whatever time the destination was to arrive, at this point right now, that's we're still on schedule.
That's pretty good. I didn't know there was going to be shrimp in here. It's the salmon with this creamy sauce and the brown rice and vegetables. And there's a couple of shrimp on there, so that's pretty good. That looks good. Got the roll, got the salad. We got all kinds of dessert too. That's a lot of food. Of course, Rob got his famous pasta and meatballs. That looks good. A lot of food here. Okay, so I'm gonna try out this butter cake. I mean, I've tried it before, let's not kid ourselves, but Rob and I are gonna split this one, but these are so good. If you've had them, you already know that they're good. Let's see if I can get into it. Oh, that was easy. Gave way easily. Alrighty. Let's see if we can cut into it. I feel like that's half and half, right? Does that look half and half to you, Reb?
Close enough.
Well, I'm gonna jump right in. Look at that. Yes, very yummy.
She brought us a bunch of desserts, so we have another brownie and another cake.
And I think she's gonna make us get dessert for dinner as well. As you can see, it's way too much food. We can't even eat half of it. But we'll enjoy splitting these and then trying to move around so we can make room for more food later. Well, we've just stopped here in Fort Worth Central Station, and they're fueling up our train right back there behind me, that yellow truck. And we're gonna walk around here. We have about 30 minutes because we're running on schedule, so that's really cool. I do see a train car over there. I'm gonna see if I can go into that because that looks cool, and see what else I can do for a few minutes. Get some steps. Rob's back there taking pictures. I don't know if you can spot him. And yeah, we'll try to get some steps here and see what else we can do around here. So while we're here getting some steps in, we notice the Heartland Flyer is down here, loading up here in Fort Worth and headed over to Oklahoma City with stops in Dallas in between. All right, so we just ran into one of our top attendants, Eric, and he's on this train here. And it actually turns out that I've lied to you. It is not the Heartland Flyer. It is actually the Texas Eagle, but it's going the other way. So they're headed to San Antonio while we are still headed over to Chicago.
for dinner tonight, we both got the braised beef, and that comes with mashed potatoes, carrots, and dinner roll and a salad. So I'm gonna try this out. Haven't had it before. Very soft today, very good. It's well cooked. Sometimes, you know, they can cook it different amounts of time and it can be over or undercooked, but this is perfect. Very good chefs on this train.
That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Here in a few minutes, we're at our next stop of Longview, Texas. Okay.
Make your way downstairs to D train. To exit here in St. Louis, please head towards the direction the train is traveling. Up the stairs, escalators. There's an elevator behind the stairs. Take that up. Head across that runway down into the station to exit. If you got checked baggage, you can pick that up inside. Once you're inside St. Louis Gateway Station, make a right. There's a sign that says baggage. That's where you'll get yours. Those of you continuing on, you can step off here in St. Louis, stretch your legs, get a smoke break, breath of fresh air, all of that here on the St. Louis platform. If you are going to smoke, please do not stand in front of the doorways and listen when conductors and crew members yell all aboard. Welcome to St. Louis, everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard. For those of you who just joined us, before changing all the schedules passed. Alton, Carmel, Springfield, Lincoln, Pontiac, Joliet, nicely Chicago. Couple of things to go over. Restrooms are located downstairs.
So woke up here in Seattle and we stopped for a little bit, but I didn't get off because I decided to have breakfast instead. So enjoy it from here. Now we're taking off, so I'm going to show you what those views look like. Yeah, that is Route 66.
Levels. Please do not crowd by the doors as the attendants need to open those up. Once again, our next station stop is Bloomington. If Bloomington is your final destination with us, please make your way down to the lower levels.
All right, guys, so let's answer the questions. Was this ride really first class? So let's talk about it. So Amtrak calls these first class. And I didn't even realize that, honestly, for a really long time. Rob and I were sitting in the room one time and a conductor had said something about our first class passengers. And we thought, well, we'd never heard them say that before, and really got to chatting about it. And then when I saw this article as well, people questioning if it was actually first class, and it really got us thinking as well. But let's talk a little bit about it. Why do they consider it? Why would you consider it first class? So here's what you get with an Amtrak sleeper car. You get dedicated attendant, of course, a private room space to sleep in with your beds, complimentary meals. So all of your meals while you're on the train, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, whichever ones coincide with when you're on the train, are included, as well as drinks, water, sodas, juices, and coffee. You get lounge access at your departure station if there is a lounge at the station that you're leaving from. You can take a shower because they have showers, as well as bedding in the room. So your pillows, towels, blankets, all those things are included as well. So reasons why people might question the first class label, I think, is that the trains are for sure, if you've been on a train on Amtrak recently, you know the trains are old. They are in a bit of disrepair, and I feel like they started to make some changes with the trains and doing some updating, but I don't feel like they're doing that fast enough, and there's still so many of the older train cars with the old upholstery and not been updated still in the rotation. So it doesn't quite have that kind of luxury first class feel. Next is that, of course, the rooms are small and they can feel a little bit cramped, even if you're in a bedroom like we were. It can still be kind of cramped because you've got stuff in there with you. The other issue that we've had as of late, especially in this last year and a half, is that the service has become very inconsistent on Amtrak. As some of the older staff is starting to retire and slow down, they're bringing in some new people that they're training a little bit differently. And so the service still feels really uneven, really inconsistent. And then honestly, it's not exactly what most would consider luxury. Just looking at, even if you're just looking at, say, the outside of the train, it just doesn't look like a luxurious train experience. However, now we're going to talk about it here. It is better than you will get in many other first class experiences on sleeper trains around the world. So many people complain about how Amtrak, they complain about Amtrak, but in reality, it offers way more than other trains. Like we've done the Caledonian Sleeper in the UK, Via Rail in Canada, Intercity Notte in Italy, night jet trains all around Europe, and even non-sleeper luxury trains like the Glacier Express, the Bernina Express. We have videos on all of those here on the channel. Even something like Rovos, if you're thinking about something like that. The service and the amenities that are included with Amtrak sleeper rooms is really quite different than you get in some of these other ones. Most of them will not include all of your meals. You'll get a small continental type breakfast on most of them. And if you want meals, they do have dining cars, but you have to pay for anything that you want to eat or drink. So those are not included in most of these train rides. Same thing with something like the Glacier Express or the Bernina Express. Even though they're not sleeper trains, your food is not included in those either. You have to pay for food and drinks on those too. So in the end, do I believe that even with all of the faults that Amtrak sleeper trains have, should it be considered first class? And in my estimation, in our estimation, we decided when we compared it to all of the first class sleeper trains we did around the world, plus comparing it to Amtrak, you get so much more really between the two. Even an attendant, most of those sleeper trains, you don't get an attendant. So if you need something, you're on your own. They're not there. There's not somebody who you could say, hey, will you help me with this? No, they're gone. Same, even on the Via Rail in Canada, we rode the Canadian all across the country, and the sleeper car attendant just disappeared. She showed up the first day. She made our beds while we were at dinner. Never saw her again. I wanted to ask about something. Had no idea where she went. She just disappeared. But on Amtrak, the attendant tells you what room they're in. If you need something, you knock, or you've got that little bell that you can ring and they can come to your assistance. So there really is still so much, even with all the faults, as I said just a second ago, Amtrak still has so much to offer that I think that they should still be ranked as a first class train. Tell me what you guys think in the comments. If you've been on trains outside, especially if you've been on sleeper trains outside of the US, the ones that are called first class. Would you consider Amtrak still to be first class? Do you agree with me? Let us know down in the comments what you think. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, give us a like, and I'll see you next time.